What's going on? Welcome back. In today's video, we're going over basic pen testing from TryHackMe. And this machine, as the name suggests, it's basic, right? So in this machine, we will go over basic pen testing steps or cover the basic methodology to conducting basic pen testing or to conducting pen testing. So this machine is easy. It forms a good introductory to pen testing. So let's get started. So all the time, the Nmap scan starts with scanning the uh, being aggressive, and of course scanning the service and enumerating the versions. So basically, we got 22 SSH, we got 80 and SMB, and also we got Apache server on running on ports 8009 and 8080. Okay. So let's first enumerate and find out more about what is running on the web server. So when we browse, we get a page saying that the website is undergoing maintenance. Please check back later. Let's see the other ports. So we have also a port running Apache running on port 8080 and 8009. Let's try 8080. So here's the basic web page of Apache Tomcat. And let's see 8009. Okay, so what's running in here? Apache JSA app. Okay, this is something else. Right. Okay. So along with these, it's very good to notice the versions of each service. So here, Apache Tomcat, for example, is version 907. This is very important to take a note of the versions since they are usable when you want to find an exploit. Version 2418, and so on and so forth. So what else we have to enumerate? We can also enumerate the SMB, as you can see. We can use enum for Linux, or we can use SMB map, we can use SMB client, whatever. Okay, so the first thing, let me open a new tab. And in here, let's split this. View. All right, let's take the URL or the IP address. And down here, okay. So let's use directory search to find more about the directories on the web server. -w. At the same time, while this is running, we got to enumerate the SMB server. So basically here, the Samba. So we do enum for Linux -a, and we have its with the IP. Now, another way to enumerate the Samba server is to use, you know the answer, right? SMB client. Yep. No? So here we're required to enter the password. Let's get anonymous. Let's try this. Alright, so here we have now access ls. We have one directory or one file. Let's get this file, cat staff or get staff. So with SMB client, we were able to retrieve one file from the anonymous directory. Okay, now we can exit from here, clear, and cat staff. See, it's saying, please don't upload non-work related items to this share. I know it's all fun, but this is how mistakes happen. This means you too. K. So here we have a username, K, right? But there is a hint lying in here. It's saying don't upload work-related items, non-work, so related items. So it means we can upload some kind of test file, right? And see if it works, we will be able to upload a payload, right? So let's connect back, or let's create a file, echo test txt. Now let's connect back to the share, and here put test access denied. Fine. Okay, so we can't upload files here. All right, fine. Let's see here. So we have a one directory development, and here in for Linux, let's see what it has. The same results. We have anonymous directory here. Don't forget that we have found a user called K. Administrator, user, guest, powered, user, account, server, print. Fine. Let's find out more about this development directory. So in the development directory, we have got two files to discover. Dev is saying, I have been messing with that strut stuff, and it's pretty cool. I think it might be neat to host that on the server too. Haven't made any real web apps yet, but I have tried that example yet. You get to show off how it works, and it is the REST version of the example. Oh, and right now I'm using version 2.5.12 because other versions were giving me trouble. K. SMB has been configured. K. I got Apache setup. We'll put in our content later. J. This means that we have two users here, and most probably this is K we have seen while we used SMB client. J here is something else, another user. Let's see J. So for J, I have been auditing the contents of HTC Shadow to make sure we don't have any weak credentials, and was able to crack your hash really easily. You know our password policy, so please follow it. Change that ASAP. So this is another hint, guys, that we gonna find out about the other user, which is here J, right? This is K. This is fine with that. We are fine. And we need to find out about J in order to crack their password. That's the hint saying here. Now this is all about the web server, I guess. Let's see, TryHackMe. Any question we need to answer? What is the name of the hidden directory? Development. So we use brute forcing to find the username and password. What is the username? So we know K, but let's see the other one. What about using SMB to find the username? Okay, so here we have one user. We have got one user. Let's find out the other one. So we're going to rely on the results of the Indian for Linux scan to find the other one. Oh, okay. So you have K, and the other one is Jane. Okay, so Jane is the other user. So what we're going to do now, as the methodology suggests, we're going to conduct password cracking on the J user. So basically in one tab here, I'm going to do it for J, and the other tab, I'm going to do it for K. Okay, and the word list will be raku.txt. So here sudo John, no, Hydra. That's L, J, J or Jane, right? Jane, something like that. Okay, Jane, /p, user share. And what is the service we're trying? What is the protocol here? If we get back to Nmap scan, we see that we have enumerated everything except the only thing left to try with is the SSH. So let's get back and type SSH. And something weird is happening, which is me remembering the IP address all the time. Or memorizing the IP address. Okay. So here instead of Jane, I'm going to type K. Here. Okay, so as you can see, we have found the credentials for user Jane, and the password is Armando. On the right, the user K hasn't finished yet, so we're going to leave this running, and we're going to jump right away to user Jane. So here, SSH Jane at send. So right now we have got access to the user Jane. So what we can do here, perform basic enumeration and see how we can escalate to the user K in case we haven't found the password. So ls, let's see what do we have, pwd, let's cd back, ls, let's cd to K. In K we have a password.back file. Can we cat this file? Permission denied, most probably because we don't have permission to read this file. Let's see here. So password.back, as you can see, read write only for the owner, and the group, and the others don't have permissions. So let's see what we have else. We have SSH. Can we cd to that directory? I guess we can, as you can see, if Jane is part of K group, right? Let's try this. cd SSH s. So it seems like we are part of K group. That's why we were able to read that directory. SSH. So what do we have here? We have IDRSA, we have IDRSA pub. So we can export this to our machine and log in with the user K, problem solved. So we don't need to go further with the crack. So here, close this. Okay. Let's cat IDRSA, copy that. IDRSA. Okay. Now, these are the right permissions for the key file. Let's now try to log in. And there is a password. Fine. So what we can do here, we can just dump the hash of this key file and crack its password. So here, sudo python user Okay, and the target file is id.rsa. Dump this to id.rsa.hash, for example. So here, this is the hash. Now use zone interpreter to find the password. So the password is beesbox. So now say that ssh-i id.rsa k at 18, right? No, I guess it is 13. Password is found beesbox. No? Let me copy that then. It is not working. But since we can't log in remotely, let me try to log in within or using the session we have established with the user Jane. So here, ssh-i id rsa. Say yes. The password is beesbox. Oh, so it worked. So basically we are K now. ID, user ID, and the group is K. Fine. Let's see what we have to answer from here. What is the username? Jane. What is the password? What service do you use to access the server? SSH. Enumerate the machine to find any vectors. What is the name of the other user you found? Okay. If you have found another user, what can you do with this info? Escalate. What's the final password you obtain? We need to find the password here. So once we are K, we need to look for a password. If you remember, we had seen a password file called password.back, but we weren't able to count it because there were no permissions assigned to Jane to view that file. So see here pwd. Okay, let's cat and this is the password. As far as the room is concerned, the room is done, okay? But if you want to go further, the rest is escalating to root. So basically sudo -l password for K. Okay, actually I pasted this password, right? So if you ask, Now, as you can see here, user K can run all commands, okay, for all users, which means if we run sudo su root, no, sudo su actually, right, it will be run as root. As you can see, we are root now. Okay, that was about this. Very basic, right? But most importantly about this machine, don't look at the difficulty level. Look at the methodology. This is the basic methodology of conducting pen testing, right? It differs from machine to machine, from environment to environment, but basically, let me save the thumbnail for this challenge. So let me say THM basic pen testing. So basically, as I said earlier, guys, don't look at the level of this. You say, yeah, it's easy, I can do it. It's only the methodology here that is on the spot. Okay. So that was about this, and see you in the next video.